Oh, hello, Rio. You're here early. It's good to see you, though. I hope you're well. Alrighty then. Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is Michael Schwan. Welcome to the stream. Today is Tuesday, February 7th, 2023. So normally Tuesdays and Thursdays are the Let's Play days where we play a game that's just me playing solo, trying to get all the way through it, finish it, and stuff like that. We got done playing Forspoken, and then we played the Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line demo, and then we had one or two streams to try and fit a game in. I was considering putting in Resident Evil 3 Remake since we just recently played Resident Evil 2 Remake. Decided against that because I wouldn't be able to finish it today, even though it's a short game. So instead, and I'm not going to be here Thursday. So no stream on Thursday, but we should be here on Friday for Power Couple to play some Persona 5 Royal, and then we'll be here the following Sunday for Production Day. And then next Tuesday, I should be streaming, and it will be Wanted Dead from 110 Industries. So, heads up on what's going on this week. So, today, though, the question is, what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to just kind of do like a bonus production day, where we just kind of work on some stuff. We did Production Day on Sunday, and we got all the reactions recorded, but I didn't have the scripts ready for the two other videos that I needed to record and edit for this week. That being my thoughts on the Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line demo, as well as a review of Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. And so those are going to be the two things that we do record today, but there's other things that we're going to do today as well. We're going to be playing some Stream Raiders, so let me go ahead and get that fired up so that can be running while we're talking. Athena coming in with the hype. With the hype. What do I need to do? I need to place Templars. Sure, why not? Okay, so place your units for Stream Raiders, everybody. And so with that in mind, though, the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to do just a little bit of back-end Twitch work. And then we're going to try and get stuff set up for Swan Dive. Swan Dive was something that we talked about in the past. It's also something we talked about in terms of content that we want to do in 2023. I have an absurd number of video games, especially in my Steam library. Let's take just a quick little glance, shall we? In my Steam library, I have 1,799 games. Now, some of those are things like the Dark and Darker demo, right? Which is out right now, and you can play it if you want to. I also apparently have the Dark and Darker playtest. I guess I can uninstall that. But either way, there's just shy of 1,800 games. There may be a couple of demos in there, but there's a lot, okay? And that doesn't include what I own on the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation or anything like that. There's an immense amount of games. It's dumb. And one of the things that I want to do for a long time, and it was actually what started this YouTube channel that I currently have, is a series that was called First Impression, where we would play through the beginning of a game and then give our thoughts on just the beginning of the game, because it was all about if the game gave a first impression or not. The format and formula and naming convention of that just did not work very well. The videos were too long. I didn't have the experience that I do now as a creator, as an editor. And then the name First Impression is just way too vague. It's really bad for SEO. So Swan Dive, however, it gives the same impression. We're just diving in. We're going to see what happens. And it's going to be, instead of, I used to provide the full gameplay in those first impressions. I'm not going to do that anymore. Instead, we're going to record a separate video that'll just be kind of like a little mini review of that 1 hour that we play. And then I will have the gameplay available on the VOD. That'll be on the VOD channel, and that's how people will watch that. But my brain really requires structure and planning ahead. And that'll include part of what we're going to do today, which is kind of try and break down the idea of how we're going to structure the Swan Dive videos. I'm just kind of ramble my way through that as a concept, because talking through something definitely helps me like manifest it in a way that allows me to build a larger amount of structure, so I actually am comprehensive of what I'm wanting to do and how I'm wanting to do it. So one of the parts of that is I also wanted a small like animation of sorts, both either just for the YouTube videos in general or for the Swan Dive specifically, either way. Because we do have this song. Let me find it real quick. So we do have this song, which is called Swan Dive, and it's got a nice vibe to it. And I might be able to edit down this song in such a way that it'll work for just a short little intro clip. So that's what we're going to look at as a possibility as well. I'm not an animator. And so I went on to Fiverr and I was just looking for cheap Fiverr builds that would allow me to get like an intro animation for the idea of putting this in. And I already got a couple of them back. There's one that I haven't got back yet, at least not. Oh, thank you, Stream Elements. You have now informed everyone that I am live. Cool. Good job. I have gotten some of them back. There's one that I haven't gotten back yet. They technically have until tomorrow to deliver it. But we'll look at those. I've not looked at those animations yet. We'll see what's in there, what options we have, if any of them fit, if any of them don't. All of these packages were super cheap, so I don't have like massive hopes or anything like that for them. Like I'm not expecting a ton, right? But if there's one that I'm like, you know what, that one's good enough for now until I like really want to spend something on something truly custom that fits what I want, awesome, sick. But it's about taking the steps to get there rather than just jumping all the way in. Just, Swan Dive right in. There's also one other thing that we are going to do. And that is, we have to go into our Twitch dashboard. Actually, we're going to need to open up Photoshop. And we need to create a new emote for the channel. Where is that under? Emotes. All right. First off, are there any current emotes that we just don't use enough? I didn't realize the High Swan was a subscriber emote. Damn, we use all of these a lot. These core 9, Lol Swan, Heart Swan, oh, here, hang on. Let me make it where you guys can actually see. So these core 9 emotes, we use these a lot. Like the one that's used the least is probably the Cry Swan, but the Raid Swan, the Pride Swans, the Hype Swan, the High Swan. I guess the Hype Swan could be moved to a follower emote, because I don't think we use the Hype Swan outside of this channel. But like I know that I personally use, like the Raid Swan is obviously for the raid. I use the High Swan, the Heart Swan, the Lol Swan, and the Pride Swans a lot. And then Cry Swan I use on occasion on other people's channels as well. But I don't think I use the Hype Swan on other people's channels. Do you use the Hype Swan on other people's channels, Athena? I normally use their hype emote. But they don't always, like, I really like my little heart, and then obviously the pride swan and stuff. I normally say hi with the high swan, and then the low swan is just, it's so perfect. Like, look at that. But I don't think I use the hype swan. So we can move the hype swan to... I need more emote slots. Something fierce, y'all. I think the... How do I see the emote usage? Isn't there a spot to do that? What is it under? Is it under analytics? Stream summary? Emote performance. But that's only for the individual stream. Is there a way to see all of them? You can upload emotes for that people can use if they unlock bits? I thought these were badges. It was on the yearly summary? Oh, like the one that we received? There's only the lowest tier you can get for bits though is 1,000 bits. Only 10 people have that. How do we look at that? Twitch summary? What were those called? Twitch recap. Ah, it's gone. Oh, you can't find them anymore. Okay. I don't know if I did. Let's see. I know that I posted my little thing from me Twitch recap. Shit. 2022? Fuck. Twitch review? No, that's gonna give me... Nope. I thought I posted it. Hours? No. I thought the raid message was number 1. Maybe. I do believe you're correct. I need to open up a slot. I know that they talked about making it where follower emotes could be used on other people's channels. Has that happened yet? Just need to go to somebody's channel. It doesn't matter who. I'll go to Tofu's. Yes, they did. Okay. That helps then. I remember. Well, let me double check. Let me just go to another one. Hey, Az is streaming. Okay, definitely seems so. Okay, that helps. I think we can get rid of the dead swan then, Because this is probably the least use of the emotes that are actually in this list. And the Dead Swan will almost never be used anywhere else. I think we have the Dead Swan also in the BTTV emotes. Is this working now? Okay, BTTV is working on the overlay again. It wasn't on Sunday. So we could remove the Dead Swan here. And that's using the BTTV one, the Nightbot one. So we can remove this one safely. Okay. With that removed safely, let's go back into Photoshop. New file. What are the requirements for this again? They need... Oh. They have expanded the emote stuff. Now it needs to be between a resolution of 112 by 112 and 4096 by 4096. It used to be that the maximum they could be was 112 by 112. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Let's just go with 1080 by 1080. Why not? That's a number. That's a square. Downloads. This emote is not quite a square. Okay. No, we don't need to save that. Image format is not supported. What format did you want it to be? Well, hang on. Let's make it a different format. I'm not sure what format I saved it in just now. It was saved as a JPEG. Image format is not supported. Twitch emote image format. JPEG, PNG, or GIF files. What size is this file? Properties? It's only 120 kilobytes. Here, let's do it this way. No, new 112. The biggest it's gonna be is 112 anyway, so we can just fucking like that's the size it's gonna be anyway. This will make it as small as possible. Then we'll save it as a 112 and see if that works. Emotes. Just thinking. Just thinking real hard. The face? Are you good, bro? Okay, it's automatically looking for a PNG. Let's just save it as a PNG and see if that helps. Ah, yes, Twitch production. Something that should only take a moment. Mm-hmm. Okay, it just really wanted it to be a PNG, I guess. There we go. The face. Let me reload my Twitch chat over here. There we go. Okay, so that's one thing that had to be done. Unfortunately, Minimal Gameplay is not streaming today. They decided to do a movie night instead. How dare they? They're doing a movie night in their Discord, but just tuck that in our pocket, waiting for another time. Okay, that one's done. Let's take a little trip over to Fiverr. Let's open these up. Oh no, you saw that I spent $12.55. Shucks. It'll be all right. Okay, so we have this person. So this one, they didn't do anything custom. This one is entirely that they have templates that they use essentially, and they plug your logo in and change some colors, and they just deliver you a pile of them, and whether they work for you or not, it's up to you. That's your problem. That said, it was only $12, so they're probably happy to do a movie night more so if they knew. Yeah, you right. And this one, they did a custom one, but you don't get any say in what they make. You just hand them your logo, and then they try to make you something out of the logo. Again, super cheap, right? But that's fine. That's fine. We're not trying to do anything crazy or special. Let me move this into the emotes folder just so that I still have it. Emojis. Just so that doesn't get lost anywhere. Oh no. And then I'm going to empty everything out of this downloads folder because that's where this is all going to end up. All right. So let's start downloading these so that we can look at them. Alright, we should have a bunch of stuff in here now. Yeah, alright. Oh, there is audio with these. Let's not have there be audio with these. Okay, so we will just put these up over here. Yeah, like that. That'll work. And let's take a little look-see looks. So we'll just start from the top and work our way down. All right, so actually that one is the separate one, so we'll start here. Is there a loop function on this? Yes. All right, Little looksy looks. Okay. So these are just the template pre-baked ones that they adjusted for the logo. This is set on a loop, so it should keep playing it. This one's got like a little like paint drop almost. Thought it was a looky look or a look-see. Look-see looks. Oh, Athena, I'm so sorry, but you're probably right, but we're talking about my brain that says shit like tally forth and stuff. So, yeah, is this another one? Probably. You're probably, yes, it probably is. Like, yes, that's like oh man, that emote's good. That emote's real good. All right. Help me. God can't help you now. Oh my God. Okay. Oh man. All right, so this one, it's interesting how they did this one, right? Because so the logo that I have two versions of this logo. I have one where the swan is black and one where the swan is white. And it's really easy to change the colors because the logo is so simple, right? Which is one of the things that I really like about it. It's easy to identify, it's unique, and it's really simple. So you immediately know what you're looking at. I'm gonna go work out now, thanks. So we have, and I like one of the things that they did here is that when the blue drop, which that blue is gonna be the same color that the little like halo line is, that makes the outer circle. They used that blue, but flat whited out the logo, and then it ripples into the black with the blue line on it. All right, what's next? Interesting. I don't think I like that one at all. I bet this one looks really cool with a more complicated logo, but because I don't have enough detail, the spin, like, pixelated effect just doesn't actually show up well enough. This one. Something that fucking crashed. Okay. Really did apparently not like whatever that was. Try it again. It'd be neat for something like new follows or bit alerts. That'd be hard. Because these all have a white background on them, right? That one's flashy. Because none of these have alpha channels on them. Like, I could probably... I wonder if they can even do alpha channel. I might be able to myself take these into After Effects and just tell After Effects to alpha channel anything that's white. Because it has such simple color palettes, right? We're working with 3 colors. White, black, and a soft blue. And so, while I'm not super well versed with After Effects, I do have access to it as part of the Adobe Creative Suite. And so it might be possible for me to go in there and tell After Effects, yo, alpha channel anything that's white, and then I would be able to turn it into something that could be used as an alert. Something to think about, something to think about. Whoa. This one is definitely no. This one's definitely not going to be used for, like, anything. But it's definitely interesting. Alright, what else we have? Why did that feel like a global marketing ad? From our house to yours, all around the world, Schwan. like, you see what I'm saying there? Like, it definitely feels like they're trying to, worldwide as of now. As of January 21st, 2023. Yeah, no. All right, what's next? That's just a news ticker. Like, this one and this one could both have been used in, like, if I was still doing iReddit, like, I could have used both of these for that. Coming to you live. So I know that they're pre-baked templates, right? And like this all looks fine, but these light glares do not. These light glares do not work very well. Like this is pleasant, but these like very horizontal light glares that are clearly flaring off of nothing, like they're not glowing off of anything. Like that, this one would have needed a little bit of a hand touch to put the gloss reflection in a very specific location. Like maybe if there was only one and it was on the swan's face instead of like just kind of randomly across the middle. So again, I know they're pre-baked, right? I really wish instead of them flowing off screen, how they do here, where they come around, they flow off into the corner. If they would have flown into the logo and just made the logo, that would have been sick. Like if they would have spun around and stopped in the middle and built the logo, that would have been, But the fact that they just flow off screen and the logo appears behind it makes it not good. Same thing again. I do say this one is better than the last one for sure. But if these little ribbons would have twirled and spun into the logo, would have been better. This is still really good though. I definitely like the motion and flow of these better. And the fact that they disappear on screen instead of flowing all the way off on the corner like it's trying to be like a transition almost, where it feels like it's a more natural appearance of the logo to appear out from inside the tunnel. This one's a lot better than the last one. Like this one I could actually consider using. Not bad. Again, if there was a more customized touch to where the little drops would actually land, they kind of do actually. Some of them do. Most of them do actually. The problem that I have with it is that there's this random blue one that goes here in the middle, and it doesn't actually build anything. Does it? Oh, I guess it does. Okay. So I initially liked this ribbon that goes across the middle, but I don't like how the logo appears. All right, Athena, it's just you and me. It's just you and me. I don't know how to help us. So I'm just gonna put Killing Field right here, and we're just gonna pray. Okay. Hopefully my Templar will take most of the hits. Nope, they shot Rem. Rem's dead. Oh, just me now. The problem is I'm a Templar. I don't think I get a bonus from Stronghold. I'm not a tank class. I'm a support class. That said, I think I'm gonna win anyway. All right, we got there. It's fine. Athena, you get 15 gold. Congratulations. You're doing great. Well, I can't place another Templar, but I can place... Do I have... Oh, I can place a Vampire. We'll place a Vampire right here to kill this Epic Archer, and then we'll move on from there. Place units, everybody. Hey, El Canadiano, how are things? Pretty good. Pretty good. So with this one, I like the way that there's the twirl across, but I don't like the vertical lines on the logo. This one. That one was pleasant. That one was really pleasant. Yeah, this one's good. I like this one. All right, what is this one? Whoa. That one had some interesting dynamics in it with the way that it cuts around and stuff. I can't tell if it's supposed to camera jump like that. That was your villain arc? I feel like if this one was like 3 seconds longer and didn't have the camera cuts on it, it would probably be one of the best ones. Do I have any revisions on this? I wonder if I can ask them for that. Let me see. Details. Unlimited revisions? I doubt that's true. Thank you for placing an order. It's a pleasure working on your order. Hope you're pleased with the outcome. Prioritize my customized needs and still want to ensure they're satisfied with their products. So always put extra time in the process to ensure that the outcome is the best. I strive for every job to be a great job. If there's anything that didn't meet your expectations or would cause you to leave a negative review, please let me know before reviewing. I'll try my best to make it right. Should you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If you're feeling generous or within your budget, a tip for my insanely low prices. I always appreciate it. It helps me advertise my quality services to the future. Okay. I wonder if I could ask them, because one, I don't actually, because like I said, these are pre-baked. I wonder if there's a version of it that exists that doesn't have the camera jumps, because this one would probably be one of the best ones if it didn't have the stutter cuts in it. Okay. And then this one, the next one is this separate one. It's a little hard to see the water at the bottom because of this showing up. Like, it doesn't have time to drop the view slider. Let me open it in a different program. Open it with VLC Media Player. Playback. I don't know how to loop things in. There we go. Okay. This one we'll actually be able to see the bottom of it. This one's cute. That's the way that I feel about this one, is that this one's cute. But I don't think it's quite there, right? Yeah, I think it's a little too cute. It feels a little PBS-y. It feels like one of the logos that you'd see at the beginning of children's programming. Like, that's what it makes me think of, right? Like I could see this before Blue's Clues or Sesame Street as one of the companies that brought you one of those shows. And I don't think that's quite the right emotion to convey from this. It's cute as fuck, but I don't think that's what we're going for here. Okay, so let's go back through these one more time. This one's fun. Like, this one's just pretty fun. I don't think it's quite what we want. But I do think that this is one of the better options. I really like the color dynamics of this one. How they have the whiteout logo that then turns into the full colors. Looks like a boob. Yep, that's a boob. That's just a boob. You're right, Athena. That's just a boob. All right, well, that one's out. GG! Can't use that one. There's a fucking boob in it. Oh, man. Or maybe we can use that one. Anyway. This one I think is a little too difficult to see for too long. I think that this pre-bake would be a lot better with a more complicated logo. I like this one. This one has energy in it. And they did a good job picking how the colors interact. Definitely feels like creation. Yeah, that one's good. I do not like this one at all. It is very unique. Like, it is one of the most complex ones. But I do not like it. If I had a different logo and a different... Like, you know, this one would be really, really good for, like, a science channel or a tech channel or something like that. With a more, like, kind of techie, sciencey logo. It would be great for that. I want Napalm's logo for this one, for this animation. Oh, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't expect it either for just his fucking cute little blob face. I don't even know what he calls it. This is back to the globe, which again, both this one and this one, both are very newsy. These are both very newsy. If I ever did like a news bit, because here's the thing, I could actually use all of these for different purposes, right? Like, I could totally use, you know, like this one for the swan dives, and then if I ever start doing any type of news segment, even if it's gaming news, right, I could use this one instead. I own all of these. These are all available for me to use. We don't have to pick one. I can use them at any point in time. So I could use any of these for gaming events. I think this one would be good for gaming events. They both would be good. I definitely think I like this one better than this one. They're both good, though. The only problem is that the way that it has like the blind twist on it, where the logo is broken into straight lines, I don't feel like it looks very good with our logo because our logo has so much empty space in it, right? It's the same reason that I didn't like, was it this one? Nope, not that one. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's the same reason that I don't like this one, is because our logo has so much empty space that it feels broken apart in a unnatural way that isn't like it is connected because it's so disconnected, right? Because these effects would look really good for not this one. These effects would look really good for a really solid logo that doesn't have any void in it, because it would still feel like it's all one piece that's being spun. But because we have this empty space, it just looks like a weird shape. And so, like, even this one I don't think is very usable because of that. Same reason that I don't think this one's very usable, because it just looks it looks like something's wrong rather than the logo is being presented to you. It almost looks like an unintentional glitch on it. This one I do like, though. The only thing that I wish with this one, I actually like the first bloom in the top right. The bottom bloom looks just like it's in the wrong spot. But let me look at it from farther away on this other screen. I guess it isn't actually that bad. When I'm not super up close to it, the first one's actually really good. Yeah, I like this one. Second bloom should maybe be on the bottom, or just move so it's... Where is it? Where does it start at? I think one of the problems is also that it starts in the white space. It technically starts right here in between this, between the swan's neck and the first, like, wing feather. Like, if it started a little farther to the left to where it, like, started on the swan's neck. I think one of the... okay, actually, I know the bigger issue that I have with it. This one has this nice, pretty bloom on it, right? It's got this nice, like, camera flare effect. The second one, it has much more flat lines in it. It looks like a less natural bloom on it. And I think it's actually just this bottom flare that bugs me. That's why I said underline. Yeah. I don't know how possible it is to move the flare, but I can always ask them. All right, what's next? Okay, this one's a no-go. I really don't like how they flow off the screen. It feels unnatural with how the logo appears. And I think because this one also is kind of akin to this one with the weird, like, 3D effect. This one's definitely better than the alien sperm. Which one was this one? Yeah, this one's fine. Yeah, that one's just fine. Although I do want to see something. When does the logo start to appear? The logo, you can see it appearing right there. That's the first frame that it appears. I feel like it would almost be better if it didn't start to appear until, like, right there. Because you can see the flat line right here where the logo is starting to appear at. So if it started to appear right here to where it's actually, like, this down here is actually part of the logo, but it's hard to notice because it's merging into the black. I can probably do that myself in After Effects, honestly. Because that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames that would need edited. Yeah, that's something that I could just do. Load this in After Effects, erase that part of the logo from those 5 frames. And it's just really that it's only 2 frames up top and 5 frames below, I could probably figure out how to do that. And then I think this one would be really good, because the problem that exists in this one is the logo appears too early, and it just, you can see the like the artifact of where it wasn't hidden on its appearance. No. Problem with this one again is the lines. This one I actually like a lot. I like this one quite a bit. And it does have that line effect on it, but I think that the thing that makes this one so much different from the other ones that have the line effect is the logo is largely built. It's largely complete, and then the lines go across it. Where's the bloom appear at? It's really cool. Such an aggressive jump here. Yeah, I love this song, Athena. I also wonder if this is frame 0 or if there's one that starts blank. I wish it didn't have this intense jump. Like if this was a singular, solid, flowing movement, instead of the cut, I'm gonna have to message them about that one to see if that's something that's possible. Okay, let's open up a new folder. Open a new window. So we need this one. Oh, I didn't want to move it. I wanted to copy it. Okay, we also liked this one. Wait. Oh, what? This one's a no. This one's a no. This one's a yes, but I need to do just the smallest little bit of editing on it. This one's a no. This one's a yes. Which one are we on? 1-6. This is 2-6. This one's a yes. This one's a no. This one's a no. This one's a yes. I'm going to say no, not the boob, and not PBS. Okay. I do like that the animation that they did on this one, but it's like I said, it feels like a children's animation. Like, brought to you by the Swan Corporation. Swan Song Productions brings you. Okay. I will send those responses later. Who asked, who is this message from? Oh, that is from a very old order. And then this one hasn't been delivered yet. The R1 was cool, except for the initial boob. Yep. If it wasn't for the boob... I mean, one thing that I could do with the boob... One thing that is possible with the boob... I could zoom... I don't know if there's a way that I could show you in here. But I could... I wonder if I can do it in... VLC Media Player. Does VLC... Yeah, they have audio on them, but... Do you have a Zoom VLC Media Player? No, that's subtitle scale. Video, Zoom. Double? I don't think that doubled the way that I wanted it to. All right, here. I'll show you what I'm trying to do. Hang on. I know how I can do it. It's just I was trying to be lazy. So let's go in here and let's see if this looks any better with the boob. New, just wherever the fuck this already is. That's fine. Just create this. It's going to be in basically an empty file anyway. So if we grab the boob, let's mute this. So we got the boob, okay? But what if we, let's see, effect controls, this, select it, thank you. What if we, 110? 115. All right, is this less booby? How's that? Literally all I'm doing is just zooming in a little bit to hide the boob. So if we grab the boob, you say? How's that? Does it need to be zoomed in more, or is this little drip drop all right up there? Less booby. Something to think about. I am uncomfortable in my own skin today. Yay. That's what I like. That's my preferred state of existence. Hang on. Let's do a quick search real quick. Boop, 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 doop. Create alpha channel in Premiere. Is that something that's possible? Yes, it's possible, you fucking dumb shit. Oh my god, why am I stupid? It's literally just ultra keying something. So if we ultra key this, and then if we ultra key white, ooh. That might not be the way to do this. That's going to be a little grainy. I'll be back. Okay, Athena. Can we put another ultra key on it and then grab the white? Sort of. Still not great. Let's see about, which one was it? It was this one. This is the one that we talked about trying to ultra key. I don't think it's going to, I don't think it's going to work. Not well enough. Yeah. We need something much more aggressive. I could try to play with the cleanup, though. Like, if we increase the tolerance, or lower the tolerance? That doesn't really do anything. We choke it. Nah. After Effects might be able to do it, but Premiere isn't doing it. I do like this one, though, in general. I like this one a lot. So which ones did we end up grabbing? That one. I do like that one. That one's solid. Only problem with this one is the second little flare. This one I need to do the 5 frames of cleanup on. This one's great just how it is. And then this one, I need to message them and ask if there's a way to, even if it's longer, this one's already 8 seconds. I think this one's the longest one. 6 seconds, 8 seconds. No, I guess they're all about, this one's 9 seconds. This one's 10 seconds. Okay. And then we'll have to wait and see what we get out of the last one, because that one's this last one isn't set to be delivered until tomorrow. So they could get it to us sooner if it get. I will check one more time before we end tonight. But where are we at on the battle? 1 minute. Okay. Oh! A Canadiano with that epic plasma flying rogue. What's up? All right. There's 2 balloon busters in here. That sucks. I like this. About to eat a balloon buster. Ow. We're alive. Jolly good work, everybody. We have, 200 gold. It can be yours for 420 channel points. Most kills going to El Canadiano. Tied with myself and Athena Latina. Most assists going to myself. Going random on the gold in 5. Ow, man. My neck has been real grumpy the last couple of days. I don't know if I slept weird or what. It's been popping even more than usual, and it feels not comfy. Toy Caddy with the gold. That's a level 20 Shadow Artillery. Fuck you. Orc Slayer it is. Let's go. Place units, everybody. Okay. Next, the thing that I want to talk about and ramble my way through is... I need to be in this browser, though. Let's go here. Let's go new folder. Let's go Swan Dive. New folder. Woo! Excuse me. We'll do Quad Zero's base. Move that over there for a second. One of the things I want to ramble my way through is the general script of how I'm going to do swan dives. Because, so, with swan dives, I want them to be shorter. Hang on, let me get freaking Verdana 14. Swan dives, I want them to be shorter. So, first off, so the idea would be, the full process would be, we need to pick a game. Play said game. Play game for 1 hour. 2, generate script for swan dive. 4, record swan dive. 5, edit swan dive. 6, upload VOD. 7, upload swan dive. So the next idea would be, so the swan dives, I would play only 1 hour of the game, no matter what the game is. If it gets exactly 1 hour, and I think that's one of the things that I did wrong with First Impression, is that in First Impression, I would play until I felt like I had played through the first segment, right? And I don't feel like that was necessarily the right way to do it, because sometimes the first segment would be like 13 minutes, and sometimes the first segment would be an hour and a half. And that meant that the amount of time that a game got to try and leave a good first impression just wasn't very equal, right? Because, I'll go to this screen, because sometimes in that 13 minutes, that would be enough to get a good first impression, and sometimes in that hour and a half, that wasn't enough time for a good first impression. But that's also why we need a more static time frame for what the games are allotted. And I think 1 hour is fair, because a lot of the games that were taking longer, like a couple of the examples are a lot of like the Sony third-person story games, like The Last of Us or Horizon. They definitely wanted more than an hour of your time to really feel like the game had started. But other games like Celeste, that game was basically done and ready and showed you everything it had in the first like 20 minutes. But here's the other thing with that, is that 1 hour, Celeste in the first 20 minutes might have felt, okay, and this is an example, okay, not actually true. Celeste in the first 20 minutes might have felt really good, but might have already started to wear itself out after 1 hour, whereas, and so that could have hurt the initial presentation of it. But I didn't give it as much time as I gave other games. Now, mind you, Celeste is a really good game, and Celeste has a very strong initial impression on it. But with games like The Last of Us or Horizon, they definitely want more than an hour, but I think an hour is more than fair for them to try and genuinely gain your attention. With a lot of television, they will give you the pilot episode, right? And sometimes the pilot episode is longer than whatever the other episodes are going to be. Well, if it's like a 20-minute show, sometimes the pilot is 40 minutes. If it's a 30-minute show, sometimes it's an hour. Generally, if it's like a 40 to 45-minute show, the pilot still might be an hour. And so I think an hour is a really fair time frame to give a game. I mean, it's not as generous as what Steam gives you. Steam gives you 2 hours to try essentially to try a game before you can return it with no questions asked. If you go over that 2 hour mark, or if you've owned the game for more than 2 weeks, I think, then they don't give you that allotted amount of time. Hang on, let me see if a couple of my friends are still in Discord. They are. Oh, baby. Came in right on that burp. All right, so one disclaimer, I'm streaming right now. Oh my God, how could you? I love you. Is that something terrible? Oh my God. I was waiting. No. So I have a question for you guys. Just an initial question for an opinion. So when I first started up the YouTube channel, I started a series called First Impression, where I played through the beginning of a game and then gave my thoughts on it. But when I first started that up, I played through whatever felt like the beginning of the game, whatever felt like the first chapter or first episode or first, like complete level or whatever, right? But that also resulted in games getting significantly different amounts of playtime. Okay? Yep. Like One Shot and Celeste, they got like 15 minutes because that's how long it felt for the game to feel like it had, like, all right, the game.
You're past the tutorial. You're in the actual game.
Yeah, the game has started. And then with games like The Last of Us or Horizon Zero Dawn, those took like an hour and a half before they felt like they had gotten past, like, introducing you to the game. And even Horizon, I still didn't feel like after an hour and a half I was there. And so I'm going to be reviving that series. It's going to be renamed Swan Dive instead. But one of the things that I wanted to look at was try and think of a more rigid amount of time to give a game. And my initial, like, just throw out an answer, toss a dart at the board was 1 hour. Every game gets 1 hour. And because, like, a game like Celeste or One Shot, they might have good first impressions, but in that first 20 minutes, but if you go 60 minutes, that first impression might actually not be very good anymore because it just starts to be repetitive that quickly. And it will be unfortunate for games that really want you to have more than an hour, like The Last of Us or Horizon, but I think that those are exceptions. And also, like, even in the hour and a half, those were bad first impressions on my part.
Yeah.
Because it
What
just
about
took too
like
fucking
a
long.
what about like a benchmark system? So I will give no more than 1.5 hours to a game, and every 15 minutes I will pause the game and I will check in. That way, if the game itself is shorter and you feel you're getting to the point where to continue on is going to ruin what you would consider your first impression, you can choose to stop at any of those intervals, but no more than an hour and a half, and you kind of check in along the way.
Well, because the structure of it will be, because I used to include all of the gameplay in the video, but that made for very long videos. So instead, with the experience that I have now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a game to play. I'm going to play it for whatever the allotted amount of time is, whatever that structure is. That's where we're trying to figure out right now. And then afterwards, I'll generate a script. I'll record a separate video for it, edit that, and then if people want to watch the actual gameplay for it, that'll be available in the VOD on the VOD channel.
Gotcha.
So instead of, like, for instance, like the Horizon Zero Dawn video, that was like 2 hours long because there was an hour and a half of gameplay in the middle of it.
Oh, hey, Schwan,
Yeah,
I have a present for you.
yeah, motherfucker. Were you like shaking your belly to try and warm it up a bit to see if it would deliver?
No, you made me think, and that made my tummy start to do things.
So but the videos themselves will be probably more along the lines of like 8 minutes, right? Of just like, this is what we played, this is what it is, this is how we felt. Okay, thanks, bye. And so it won't need to be necessarily an idea of checking in while I'm playing. I mean, I could still do that, but it wouldn't necessarily fit within the video. Now, if I wanted to restructure the video, I could write down my thoughts every 15 minutes and share how I felt at those checkpoints.
Right, and I'm just thinking as a means to kind of balance the scales between longer games and shorter games, right? So, and that doesn't necessarily have to be part of your video format, but like you said, for yourself, take notes every 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's going to be a shorter video, then it's a shorter video. It is what it is. But if it is a longer form video because the gameplay itself takes a little longer, at least you have beats that you can hit as you're doing your recap video. You could just say, okay, so all in all, with, Celeste, it only took me about 15-20 minutes or so to get into the meat of the game. And at that point, I decided to stop before I spoiled what I consider to be my first impression. With The Last of Us, however, that one is a much beefier story. So we gave that one an hour and a half, and I gave my thoughts every 15 minutes, and this is a summarization of what I thought.
And it's like, oh my god, I'm so sad. Oh my god, this doesn't make sense anymore. Oh my god, this is so slow. Oh my god, I hate this.
Yeah.
I still remember those checkpoints because those are very clearly shaped out in that game.
I mean, I think that would, at least just from a like building your content, that might be a good way to go about it. Because no matter what the length of the game is, you know what you can do for everyone. You have a format that you can follow.
I wonder if 15 minutes would be too often, maybe every 30 minutes. And the reason that I say that is because 15 minutes is actually not very long.
Right.
And
especially if you have like cutscenes and stuff, and if you're considering those as part of your playtime.
Yeah, which I likely would be. It'd be part of the presentation, right? Like,
right, like Metal Gear Solid, you'd be fucked, man.
you haven't even gotten to move yet.
Yeah, it's still telling you stories. You're in your third different codex call.
You're still watching stuff.
Yeah. For me, I love it. For you, you hate it.
You've hit 3 buttons.
Yeah, but that's just what I'm trying to consider is like, what if there are long cutscenes? Maybe if there is a particularly long cutscene to start a game off, you could kind of fast forward it and narrate over it.
Well, and one of the things is that if you stop every 15 minutes, that can be overly disruptive to the actual presentation. Yeah, to the flow of what you're playing, you know? Whereas every 30 minutes is a bit more natural because, like, as an adult, you get distracted.
Sure. Or maybe you just say at every checkpoint you take a moment to recap your thoughts so far.
Maybe maybe instead of like doing this would require a little bit of discipline, which
Mm-hmm.
I know you have.
Thank you.
Maybe you should do your checkpoints based on when you feel like you should talk about what you're doing.
Well, and that's what I did originally for when I would stop, right? Is I was like, okay, this feels like this has shown me the beginning. Like this has shown me
except in this case, not when you're stopping, just when you feel like you should talk about what you've experienced, but maybe not be done.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking.
How dare you?
Why did my music stop? I just realized.
I don't know. It hates you.
Yeah, I guess so. Fucking
music's just like
fucking rude, man. Can't believe
it heard Dylan's fart and it just ran.
Can't believe it'd do something like that.
I can.
Yeah, Dylan's farts are pretty scary. I would.
Yeah, I melted my microphone a little bit, but it's okay.
I hope your headset's not too expensive. Athena says a stop time versus 1 hour seems good. So if it has a natural end before 1 hour, that's fine. But it could have a cap on it.
Yeah, cap sounds like a good idea. Like, definitely I think a cap would be good just to limit yourself. But if you feel like you have done enough, then you could stop earlier than that, for sure.
But if it makes you play more than an hour, that could help. And at 1 hour, you can always ask the question, like, do I feel like I need more or I want more? And then that could always feed into the video itself of, you know, we normally set a playtime of 1 hour, but at 1 hour, I definitely don't feel like it had... You fucking nerd. I love you too, buddy. Thank you for the 16 months.
Did you call me a fucking nerd before you read what I wrote?
No, I did not. I read what you said, and then I called you a feckin' nerd. Yeah, and Athena says, you know, at 1 hour, you can also then ask the question of, do you even want to go more from there? And if I do want to, or if I feel like I need to, then that's something to actually share in the idea of the swan dive, of that we had to go deeper, essentially, for it to actually deliver in that way. And that could be either good or bad, right? Just because it's taking longer to deliver that first impression is not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It really just depends on the game, because like using the two long games that I expressed before, I feel like even though it took like an hour and a half to really feel like the game had started in The Last of Us, I felt like it was actually a pretty good hour and a half. I didn't like the game, but I felt like that was a really good first impression, even though it took longer. On the flip side, the first hour and a half of Horizon Zero Dawn fucking sucks. And it's not because I don't like the game, it's because it's slow and paced weird and the dialogue is fucking strange.
Yeah, I get that. I do like Athena's idea.
You guys have played Horizon Zero Dawn, right?
I played the first one, and I do feel the same way that you do. And that game, I feel, the way everybody's described it to me, it's built for the games that I'd like.
Mm-hmm.
And I mirror your feelings. I thought the intro was slow. It was difficult to find a pace in it. I thought the tutorial was also paced in an odd way. I felt like I needed to learn certain skills before they were teaching me the ones they were teaching me, and I just felt very disconnected from it.
Well, like, for example, I remember doing the first impression on that, and we played an hour and a half, and we hadn't technically even made it to the open world part yet. We were still trying to get to the point where Aloy does her, like, test.
Yeah, I didn't even get that far.
So.
You know how long I played it, which wasn't long at all.
What's the matter, Tony? You don't like Aloy?
It's like,
what,
oh god.
Are you sexist against Aloy?
No, it's not it at all. It's just an awful name. Like, honestly, if they just called her Alloy, that would have been a fine name.
It would have been more acceptable.
Oh yeah, I'd have been like, oh cool, metal world with metal robots. They name their kid Alloy. That's cool. But no, they had to be fucking like a white Karen and be like, it's Aloy.
A white Karen.
Her name is Haley. It's got 14 letters.
Oh, her name's Absidy. ABCDE.
Woman mad because their child's name is spelled Feart and people are mispronouncing it.
They're mispronouncing it as what?
I thought it was
because it's pronounced fart.
Yeah.
So
My only guess is that her name is Heart and the P is silent. And she was like, the P in pterodactyl is silent. Athena, how is this not fart? I don't know.
You walked right into that one, ma'am.
Walked right into the fart?
Yeah, sure.
I hope that baby's young
Brought this
enough
fart
that you
upon
can just
yourself.
go to the hospital and be like, hey, I made a mistake. Can I
want to
change
return
the
this.
name?" I want to return this.
I don't think that's how that works.
I need
wanna
a new one
change
with
the
a different name. I need to return this one or exchange it for one with a different name.
Because that's going to be awful in school.
Yeah, I think doing just a time cap, kind of like Athena said, where once you hit it, either you feel fulfilled, you are grateful that the time is hit, or you are upset that you don't have more time to play, And any of those stopping points provide you good commentary.
Yeah. I'm adding stuff to the notes that we've been building right now, so.
Oh my god, guys, he's taking notes on us.
Yeah, baby. It's because I'm a feckin' nerd.
Feckin' nerd.
Yeah, feckin' nerd. Feckin' nerds take notes, bruv. Yeah, see, Athena's taking notes. Cute little owl. Okay. All right. Okay, so here's the next question then, since I have you guys and you're all like conversational and shit. If I can get these, hello, thank you. Okay, so with the reviews that I've started doing, okay, the sections that I have largely go in this order, okay, for the reviews anyway. Let me open up one more to make sure that I didn't change this across to any of the other one. Give me just a second here. Okay, so we have, and they go relatively in this order. Oh, yeah, okay. So we have the intro of the video, the premise / story, what the game fucking is, right? The performance of the game, what we played it on and how it ran on that. It's almost always going to be my computer outside of very specific. Did you want some Arby's? I would love some Arby's. I don't know if I would ever say no to Arby's, Athena. Like, put that shit in my stomach. I would just want a, it's not called a classic. I think it's called a double. Like, it's the normal roast beef sandwich, but the slightly bigger one than the classic. I think it's called a double.
It's a double. It's a double. It's a double.
I'm fat. It's a double. All right. Yeah, roast beef, Athena. Roast beef, a double, with curly fries and a Jamocha shake, because I'm fat.
And then you're gonna go climb a mountain.
And I'll throw up on said mountain. Ask me how I know. I'll tell you.
Know, Michael.
Well, you see, some people came up for my wedding, and I had the bright idea that because I wanted my friends that were only there for like 2 days to get a chance to see parts of Alaska, that my bachelor party would be us climbing a mountain. But on the way to the mountain, we bought Arby's, and I drank a big fat fucking Jamocha shake. And halfway up the mountain, I no longer had that Jamocha shake. Finished climbing the mountain though.
Yeah.
It's like, oh
I
god,
eventually got up there, and then there was that superhero that was running up and down the mountain while we were there.
that dude's an alien. Yeah, Gorthan. So we went and climbed the butte for my bachelor party, and there was a freaking Irishman who was built like an Olympian and literally passed everyone like 3 times because he was running up and down the mountain for just like cardio training.
Yep.
That sounds gross.
Every time he would pass us, he'd be like, "What's up, Max?" And it
Yep.
just keep going.
He would pass by. You're doing great, guys, and it's like, oh my god, thanks, buddy. It's good to see you again. And he was jogging up and down the mountain, like full jog, not just like a brisk walk, like a bouncing jog. And I'm just like, man, you're disgusting. I mean, power to you, but you're disgusting.
No power to him. Don't give him any more power. He has enough power.
He doesn't need more.
Yeah, don't give him any more power.
Okay, so that aside, so intro, the premise / story of what the game is. I used to do in the first impression, I used to say who made it and stuff like that. I don't think I actually need to do that anymore. I'd be like, this game was made by this company. It came out on this day. I don't think that's actually relevant. And then I will go into performance, and then I'll go into gameplay, and then audio, and then that's it. Do you think that there's anything else that would be important on a first impression? And should I even have all of those sections? I think that obviously you need to explain to people that might be watching the video if somebody goes to find a swan dive or a first impression essentially of a game, they probably don't know that much about it. So I think that the premise / story section would still need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
I'm sure you'll talk about it, but maybe you should put another category like either like personal enjoyment or engagement, something like that. Like, I don't know, like, were you actually interested in it? And again, I'm sure you'll talk about that, but maybe it should be a category.
Well, and I think actually all of these, like even what you said, like the performance of it, the gameplay, the audio, the attentiveness of it, could all just be summarized into one category of the experience.
Yeah.
Because, like, in a review, those things matter a little bit more because you're trying to explain, like, why it is or isn't good. But we're only getting, upwards of an hour. And so it's really just about that initial experience. Purple. The other thing is that, so, like, with reviews, generally just I still give a number at the end of my reviews. For the people that want a number, because some people really, really want that score at the end, right? And it's also important for if you ever become a notable critic, then numbers get factored into things like Metacritic. And so generally you want some sort of scoring system if you want to be included in those aggregate websites. But that wouldn't be what we're looking for here. I would still want some sort of final thought, like options would be like, would keep playing, would never play again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure what else would go into that type of a score, because like What video game critic was it that their review their score system was like avoid, rent, or buy?
There's a lot of those, but I know what you're talking about. There's like one guy like never touch, play something else.
Yeah, never touch, rent, on sale. Yeah.
Actually, you could actually do a rating style kind of like that, And I think your like top mark score could be something like will stream.
Oh, yeah. I like when rating scales mean something. That's fair, Real. It's not always easy to make them mean something.
Like I feel like that could be like your maximum point score. Will stream. Just reserved for games that you actually are like, you know what, I'm gonna put that into the rotation.
What would... So if we just have like a 5-step scale, one being, not literally one being the top, but we'll just, in the order of top to bottom, one being the top. That would be like will stream.
Yeah. Will stream. Next one could be like something as simple as would purchase. Like if you want the rating scale to be like more than just like good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it to be words like phrases like, you know, I would purchase this. I'm not going to stream it, but I'd buy it. Then you might want to put something like I'd buy it on sale. And the one below I'd buy it on sale is I'm not going to buy it.
So it could be like, hang on. Here we go. So what about from best to worst? Will stream, would buy, on sale, wouldn't buy, wish I could forget.
Yeah, that sounds good. Is that 5?
That's 5. I would
perfect.
I would stream it, I would buy it, I'd get it on sale, I wouldn't buy it, I wish I could forget it.
Yeah, I think that's a good rating system too, because getting it on sale means like it's fine. And you know, I'd be willing to buy it if it was cheaper.
Mm.
And wouldn't buy it just means like I don't like it.
Real says delete. To delete this shit.
Yeah, you could add one more in there in between on sale and wouldn't buy, and you could put free. Like if it's on Game Pass, I might play it.
I feel like
You know what I
free
mean?
counts for on sale though, in my
Does it?
opinion.
It also really, like, it's really subjective on a person's financial situation. In my opinion, of the difference between those. Because, why does my music keep pausing? Anyway, so, because for somebody that is, like, really budget conscious or just, like, has, like, a really tight budget because we live in a capitalist hellscape, a $60 game that's on sale for $20 still might not be accessible for them. They might have to wait for it to basically be free. But so, and that's why I think that a different, like, I wouldn't want to have both of those, because both of those things mean very different things to very different people. Real says they don't like having both free and on sale because it sounds like a financial thing more than a game review. Sure. And also, on sale also is vague in and of it itself, right? Because it's like, how much of a sale? But that leaves it up to the person to decide on how they feel about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there's definitely been games that I'm like, oh yeah, I even, you know, when talking to friends and stuff, I'd be like, oh, I would buy this on sale. But on sale could mean 25% off. It could mean this bitch needs to be 75% off so that it's only $15 before I'm even willing to think about touching it. You know,
it's just like GTFO for us. It's on sale all the time, but it's never on sale enough.
Yeah, its base price is $40 and it goes down to $30 a lot of the time, and I'm like, no, I'll think about it at 20, and I'll probably auto buy it if you put it to 15 or 10. But they obviously just never have.
I mean, I would buy it if it was 15 or 10.
Yeah.
I'd buy it for multiple people if it was 15 or 10. Probably because I'd have to, because you have to have 4 friends to play that game.
Right. But at 20, I'm like,
yeah, that's where it starts getting like, I don't know if it's
maybe
worth it. If we only play it once and then never play it again, I'm not going to feel happy.
On sale is general enough to mean you can wait and get this later. Yeah, that's fair.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And on sale should just include free as an idea. Yeah. Because, I mean, because there's very few ways to get free games, right? Like, the only real free games that you can get are the ones from the Epic Game Store. Because the other places that you get free games, they're included with something, right? Like, Amazon, like, Prime Gaming, you have to have Amazon Prime. Which, there's a good chance that you probably do, because fucking shipping costs are insane, and Amazon's one of the only places that sell stuff cheap enough for a lot of people to buy them. You can steal games. That's the hidden category.
Would steal.
Pirate it. That's the hidden category, is pirate it. But, and then, like, games with gold or the PlayStation Plus games, those all come with part of your subscription to Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus or whatever. So while people will be like, you know, it's free, it's sort of free. You get them alongside something you're already paying for. So, like, the only free really is Epic Game Store, and even then, like, is it really free? Sort of.
Yeah.
The dark category. Pirate. I live close enough to a warehouse and shipping is fast enough that it's pretty much Prime for most things. That is if I really had to order something off of Amazon. Amazon used to be shit ask for Alaska, but it's thankfully, like, they built a huge warehouse here as, like, a in-between stopping point, as, like, a port for the rest of, like, in-between sections of the world. So almost everything here is normally about 2-day shipping, which is fucking wild. No, I meant armed robbery. To walk into the same GameStop. All right, Douglas, I'm here again. And they're like, motherfucker, stop it. What are you stealing today? Oh, I need this game. Fine. It's the only one you're getting today, though. Opens up the counter, gives you the disc out. You don't get the box either. You only get the disc. I don't want to see you here for another week, damn it. Stop stealing our shit. They reported to GameStop corporate, and GameStop's like, we don't give a shit. Did you buy more of our stock yet? No. Okay. That helps. So will stream, would buy, get it on sale, wouldn't buy, wish I could forget it. Dark category, steal/pirate. Corporate is like, y'all got games in that store? Sell more fucking t-shirts. That's what we actually make money on. No. GameStop corporate would actually be like, oh, you stole some games from a little kid? Good work. Put a nice high used price tag on them and put them on the shelf. No, they stole games from us. I don't know what you're talking about, so just put it on the shelf. Also, make sure you sell some more Funko Pops. Okay. All right. I think that's a really good set of notes that I can work with.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you helping me talk through it.
You're welcome.
I love you both. I'll talk to you. I think Chris is all hiding quiet in here too. So I love all of you, and you all have a good rest of your evenings.
Oh, we love you, buddy.
Bye.
Love ya.
Okay. That was helpful. Okay. So there's the base idea of what we'll be working with for swan dives. Oh, Real, since you're here, let me get your opinion real quick on these, okay? Because I grabbed some, I commissioned some Fiverr artist stuff to do like some pre-baked animation intros. Just let me get your opinion on these real quick. I'll just roll right through them. Hello, Fender. So let me get this actually properly like in here. Boop, boop. I will let each one loop like 3 times before I move on to the next one. Or twice. I'll do twice, and then I'll talk about what I do or don't like about them. Go ahead and go through these one more time. So this one I initially liked. One problem with this one that Athena pointed out, though, is at the very beginning, we got a boob. There's a nice little boob up here at the top. A little blue boob. This one, I didn't like the lack of detail on the initial spin. I think with a more complex logo that has less negative space in it, it might work. But I don't feel like it works in the current rendition. This one, everyone liked a lot. This one had a nice energy to it and a feeling of creation. This one felt too, like, science-y. Like, almost like some sort of weird fucking, like, DNA reaction was going on. Yeah, too science-y. This one feels like it's for a global news show of some sort. Weird globe effect going on, but the lines that break up the logo itself kind of look weird because, again, the logo has a lot of negative space in it, so they feel disconnected. This one, again, feels like a news station. Breaking news! And then it just shows off the logo. You like the boob and the global news show the best so far, okay? Like, this one's like almost like a ticker going across, right? This one was fun. This one had like kind of like a water ripple effect on it, which kind of goes well with the swan, right? Where it's like a reflection of rippling water going across. Second news one could be better. Needs a bird. Oh, like a bird that's flying in front of the lines. I can see that. Okay. This one initially was like, okay, that's all right. But the problem that existed with this one was that these lines, I don't like how they disappear off into the corner. If they flew and created the logo, instead of disappearing off the screen, I feel like this one would be a lot better. The ripples are cool, not the lens flare. Yeah, the problem that we had with the lens flare also, we expressed the same thing. This first lens flare on the big wing is not terrible. This second lens flare is bad because it's got these weird like flat horizontal lines in it. This one up here has like a proper bloom lighting in it, but the second one is weirdly rectangular. We liked this one quite a bit. None of those stood out to me relative to what you're already using. If you're talking about the origami, that would stay as the end, as the outro. These would be more like an intro reveal. They're shorter, they're quicker, they're snappier, and they would most likely be only for Swan Dive, just to kind of play around with it right now. Athena greatly disliked this one because the 3D effect on the little lines made it look like little, like, alien tadpoles. I think this one also suffers from the problem that the logo has a lot of negative space in it, because the little circle bloops, they don't get to reveal very much of the logo because the logo has a lot of negative space in it. So there's a lot of them that hit and don't reveal anything because there's just nothing there to reveal. This one, we didn't like the vertical line breaks, again, because of the negative space. It doesn't look like it's a cohesive piece that's being twisted. It instead just looks like you, like, chopped a bunch of things into pieces. I like the alien tadpoles. Like, I don't feel like my logo does very well when it's broken up. Because it's hard to tell that these ribbons are all actually connected to one another. This one was pretty good. It has the lens flare issue again, but these lens flares aren't quite as aggressive as the other one. They're a lot smaller, a little bit more subtle, and the way that the logo manifests itself is pretty fun. This one's your favorite? Yeah, this is one of the ones that we marked as good. And then this one, if it was smoother. Because this one's cool, but it has these weird camera jump cuts in it. Like, these almost feel like petals or feathers, which is neat, and it goes along with the bird aesthetic of the swan. But if it was like a little bit longer and didn't have these camera jumps in it, I feel like it would be a lot better if it was a smooth, flowing animation. No. Okay, and then this one I actually have to open in VLC so that you can actually see the whole thing. And then this one, we liked this one, but this one felt like it was an intro to a company that makes children's cartoons. Like, this should be on PBS in front of, like, Blue's Clues or Sesame Street or some shit. Like, really, it's a really soft and cute, which is not necessarily what we want. Like, definitely could see this of, like, Sesame Street is brought to you today by Swan Song Productions. Learn now how you can help starving children. Like, it's very pleasant, but that's not what we want. Okay, so this one was your favorite. Nope, not that one. This one was your favorite reel. It's probably the best one, but definitely no. Okay. I do have one more on its way, but they haven't delivered it yet. Let me see if that has changed. No. They technically have till tomorrow to deliver it, so they still have time. And I don't know what that one is supposed to be a bit more customized. Like, I was able to actually give them input. All of the rest of these, they were super cheap. They were like one. All of these, like this one was $10, I think, by itself, and then all of the other ones combined were $10. So it's not like I spent some absurd amount of money on these. But that I also didn't get to really provide any input into them. They're basically like, hey, we'll make you a stack of these for you to decide if you want to use or not. Give us your logo, and we'll plug them into our pre-baked transitions, play with the colors a bit, and then you get to decide if they're good enough or not. Okay. Well, thank you for your input, Reel. I appreciate you. El Canadiano, did any of them stand out for you? Like I said, these wouldn't replace the origami at the end. That's probably just going to stay until, like, I need to. I think they're all good except the fire, the long wavy one, and where I said no. This is the long wavy one. That you said, ew, that's ass. Which one was the fire? Is this what you mean by the fire? Yeah, that's what you meant by the fire? Okay. It's this one. No, that's ATT. I assume that you mistyped. What do you mean by ATET? Is the long wavy one, not this one, not that one, not that one, this one. This is probably the long wavy one. Okay. Oh, AT&T. I get it. Fair enough. Yep. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Makes sense. So you don't like this one. I wouldn't like AT&T now that you've pointed that out to me. I already didn't like this one. You didn't like the long wavy one. And okay. That's good feedback. Because the ones that we had in the good pile was the fire one. We had the one that you said needs a bird in front of it. the water reflection ripples, not the long wavy, but the like spinning ribbons. The one that you said is your favorite. And then this one, I put it in here because I want to ask the guy that made them if it's possible to edit this to where it doesn't have the weird fucking jump cuts in it. Just because I want to see it where it doesn't do these weird like camera zoom adjustments. Because I think that could help that one a lot. How long do we have on the battle? 13 minutes? Okay. I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. And then we will record the raw footage for Theater Rhythm and Crisis Core. All right, we're going to do Theater Rhythm first. Let me grab the script for it. And I need to go to this screen. The green screen here is just so that I can chroma that out and put gameplay footage in there later. Oh, my ankle. All right. Let me move that. Like so. All right, here we go. Let me make this a little bit easier for me to read. Okay. Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwan, and we're just going to kind of chat a little bit about Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line, because the demo came out and we played the demo, and it was a surprising experience. So just as a little bit of like foundational work. So Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line, it's going to be releasing on February 16th, 2023. It's only going to be releasing on PlayStation and Switch. It's a rhythm game that focuses mainly on the Final Fantasy franchise, although at least in this release, there are tracks included from other Square Enix properties. And this is a console release of this, and it's kind of like a definitive edition of previous Theater Rhythm games, because they were originally, I believe, only on the DS series, and they came with this like peripheral that you'd plug in and turn into like a Guitar Hero game. I never played them because they were more expensive, because they came with the little peripheral, right? And I just didn't use my DS very much at the time. I think I was busy playing World of Warcraft or God knows what. But so the gameplay of these is that it's a pretty standard rhythm game, right? You got buttons that come down a track, Rock Band style or Guitar Hero or Step Mania or whatever it is that you've played. The interesting thing about these, though, is even though there's 4 tracks, you can actually hit any button. You can hit the D-pad buttons, you can hit the face buttons, you can hit the triggers. All of those will work for no matter where it is on the track. There are a couple of inputs that have a direction on them, and you hit those directions with your joysticks. And it has a pretty standard rhythm, like rating system of good, bad, great, but instead of like perfect or whatever they call it in other games, it's a critical. And the reason that it's called a critical is because while you're playing the songs, you have a party of adventurers, Final Fantasy style, with characters from across the Final Fantasy games that are going through a journey, and they'll like fight monsters from the games that they are from. and they can level up and get spells and items and summons and stuff. So it's not just a rhythm game. Like, there definitely is a grade at the end, and of course you could go for full combos and stuff, but it also has this like RPG element to it. So I mean, that's really cool because it's just another layer of depth and engagement within the game. And one of the things that's crazy to me about this upcoming game is the sheer amount of content that's in it, okay? The base game, which is $50, the base game comes with 385 tracks. That's an insane number. That's a ridiculous number of songs. But if you get any version of the deluxe edition, you get 27 bonus songs, and then there's 90 songs coming in DLC for a total of 502 tracks, which is an absurd number. That's insane. There's over 100 characters that you can collect. I don't know how many summons or items or other things that you can get, but there's also even more beyond that. And even within those 502 songs, there are 3 or 4 difficulty options: normal, expert, ultimate, and supreme. So in a way, you're getting 502 tracks and anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 different actual tracks that are in there, although, the music will be the same for them. So we did play the demo. We played the demo on PlayStation 5, although the demo is also available on Nintendo Switch, so if you have either of those consoles, you can play it. The demo has 30 songs available in it, and we played them all. We played about 25% of them on normal, probably about half of them on expert, and then towards the end, we upgraded the difficulty again to play the last like 25% or so of the songs on ultimate, and then just for the lulz, we played a few of them on supreme. We never finished a song on supreme. Wait, did we? I think we might have finished one really easy song on supreme. Maybe not. I don't remember. Anyway, the Supreme songs are insanely difficult, and I would need to definitely practice that game a whole lot more than a few hours with the demo to actually be able to get through them. But we had a really great time. Like, it was really fun. We played it on stream, and everyone was just kind of smiling and laughing. The characters are cute. And of course, if you have any history with Final Fantasy, you know the characters, you know the monsters, you know the worlds that they're going through. And of course, one of the most strong identifiers of Final Fantasy is the music tracks, right? Like, Square Enix is really good at a couple of things, which is visuals and music. Their stories are a little bit up in the air, and that's kind of more of your own personal preference. But for the longest time, they were always pushing the bar with visuals, and then they've always had really iconic music. And so just a game dedicated to that music is fantastic, right? The leveling up the characters was all right. I mean, it was satisfying. It gave you something of like an additional good job, because you could make progress on leveling up your characters and unlocking abilities for them, even if you didn't do well on the song, right? You got lots of misses. You got like a C. You almost lost twice because their health went down. But as you unlock their abilities, it also kind of evolves the gameplay, because in games like Rock Band or Guitar Hero, you'd have like the fail bar that would go down, and as you hit more notes, it would go up, and so you'd be like building yourself away from failure. And the way that they handle that in Theater Rhythm is that your characters will have abilities, and some of them will like deal more damage, but some of them will heal the party. And so when they heal the party, it increases the number of times that you can fail as the bar goes up and down. But so you could actually make the harder difficulties easier when you leveled up your party and got more healing spells, because then you would be able to heal more often and heal for more, which gave you more room for failure, which is interesting because you didn't have that option, at least in most of the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games. You might have in the later entries, but you didn't earlier on. I think I stopped at like Rock Band 3 and Guitar Hero 3. But one of the things is, though, there's this really cute combat and journey going on while you're playing. The characters are going along the bottom of the track and fighting like cute little versions of, like King Behemoth or Malboros or whatever, or even bosses. Like, I distinctly remember fighting Reno from Final Fantasy VII at one point. But you unfortunately don't get to see that because you're so focused on the notes going across the track and trying to hit them perfectly and stuff. But thankfully they thought of that, because when you finish a song, there's a replay feature at the end of the song. So if you want to watch your playthrough, like this is, it copies your exact inputs, but it also lets you see the actual gameplay part of it as well, of actually get to see the units and stuff going across and watching them fight and them use their abilities and their specials and stuff like that. So that's cool in that aspect of it. And it even goes beyond that, because there's like some special cinematic songs that exist where there's like these full cutscenes going off in the background. You don't get to play any of those in the demo, but they show them off to you like 18 times, because it's like one of the selling points of like these cool cinematic rhythm game sections. But they were cool, and even without getting to play those, we were definitely smiling just the entire time that we played through the demo. It was such a good time. It never felt like it was I'm trying to think of the right word, like a rhythm game that's trying to defeat you, because I played the Hatsune Miku Mega Diva Mix or whatever it's called, and that's a rhythm game, and it's pretty difficult, and it definitely feels like it's just trying to be difficult. And I feel like this game was instead trying to be fun, which is great. The game also has multiplayer mechanics in it. None of the multiplayer mechanics were available in the demo, and that's tragic, because I think that they could have gotten sales strictly off of this multiplayer component. It's got 2 different multiplayers in it. One, it has co-op in it. I believe it's only couch co-op. It's 2-player. And I don't know how that works. I don't know if maybe it separates the tracks, like 2 people get the top 2 tracks and 2 people get the bottom 2 tracks, so you're only responsible for the part that you play. But the fact that it's in there at all is cool, because it's just another option to play. You can play with a friend who's over at your house. But there's also online multiplayer. I don't know if there's co-op online, but I do know that there is PvP online, up to 4 players that can all PvP against one another. You're all playing the same stage. I believe you're playing at the same difficulty. And as you succeed in the track, you will get power-ups that sabotage other players. The only example that they show you is there's 3 fat chocobos that cover up the tracks of the opposing player, so they can't see their notes as well. So kind of like the versus modes of like Tetris or like Dr. Mario and stuff, where you're like sabotaging their field, and that's how it's a versus game. It's cool. It's fun as an idea. I wish we could have gotten to try it, but it's just another bonus that exists within the game that gives you even more content. And of course, there's leaderboards if you care about those kind of things, if you're into that, if you want to be the number 1 person of, fight on from Final Fantasy VII on maximum difficulty, you can go for that if you want. There is one thing, though, about this game that made me pause, and that is that this game has some weird mechanics in it. They're not bad, but I didn't get to play the original Theatrhythm, so who knows? Maybe they're in those games too. But this has some mechanics that are straight out of mobile games. I've played a lot of mobile games. I've been skeezed out of some of my dollars because I really wanted that particular character. And there's a lot of mobile mechanics that are present here. There's these treasure chests that you can open, and you can get items and summons and these collectible cards out of them, which the collectible cards, there's over 1,200 of them, and the cards are like different characters and environments and enemies and music tracks and events and items and stuff that are just collectible cards, but those cards can influence the game. They can give you bonuses and stuff if you have that card. And those can be gotten from those chests, and the summons can be gotten from the chests, which feels really loot boxy. But you can't buy the chests. You can unlock the chests, and that's just strange in my opinion. It's got other really strong mobile mechanics, like there's EXP books for the characters. You can use items that are auto-consumed. There's a player card that you can customize, and then other friends can like borrow your player card so that they can use your summons and stuff. And that's just strange to me, because it's literally just missing a cash shop that wants to sell you some strange premium currency that's like rubies or emeralds or gems or gil or whatever, right? And then sells you these mechanics out of them. That's not there. It doesn't exist. So it's just got all these mobile mechanics without actually trying to scam you out of dollars, which is great. I don't necessarily mind these mechanics, but it's just weird that it's in a standard game with standard DLC monetization, right? That's just odd to me. But this game has insane value. The base game of Theater Rhythm that comes with 385 songs is $50 on PlayStation 5 or Switch. For $30 more, you can get the deluxe edition, which comes with 27 bonus songs, and the first season pass, which is 30 songs. And then for a total of $100, you can get the premium deluxe edition, which includes all of the DLC for 60 additional tracks between season pass 2 and 3, or a total of 502 songs, which is crazy. That's a lot. For perspective, Rock Band 3 launched with 83 songs. Now, mind you, Rock Band 3 had to pay licensing fees and stuff. All of these tracks in Theater Rhythm come from Square Enix. They own the songs, they own the rights, they don't have to pay licensing or anything like that. But also, Rock Band as a whole across all of the games has about 3,000 songs. 2,677 of those are DLC, which, holy crap, Harmonix, Jesus Lord, help us all. But 3,000 songs across their entire release cycle. And this game has 502 just on its own for a flat price of $100. And even beyond that, you got tons of characters, tons of unlockables. You can customize a whole bunch of things within it. You can customize your Mog to wear different outfits. You can customize your airship and stuff like that. It's cool. There's a lot of stuff in here, and it's a really impressive product. And it's crazy. I got a few bonus thoughts. I would have loved to see a PC release of this. We might get one at some point. But one, it would allow modding. So that would allow you to use custom inputs, things like using a Guitar Hero controller or an electronic drum set or foot pedals or whatever, right? And that would be cool. It would also open the door for people to maybe be able to create custom songs. But maybe that's why they didn't put it on PC, because they didn't want people to do that. And I had a little bit of input lag on my part. Now, that could be because I was running it through a capture card to be able to play it on my computer, to be able to stream it. And rhythm games don't normally like that because they're really important on their really good timing. If I move my PlayStation 5 upstairs and connected it to the TV, I might not have that problem. And I would also like to see another difficulty, which is a difficulty where the track position matters, because you can, like I said at the beginning, you can hit any button to be able to play it. But I would also really like to be able to see it where you could just had to hit specific buttons, and maybe you can customize the controller input, because that would be an additional level of difficulty that could even exist within the difficulty settings that already exist. Because if you had to hit certain buttons for certain tracks, that could make normal harder than it is, because it's fairly easy and approachable, and that would just be more fun, in my opinion. I still think the game's really fun, but there's another different kind of fun that exists within needing to hit the correct inputs. But ultimately, Theater Rhythm, final bar line, I had a lot of fun with it. I can't actually decide what system I want to buy it on, because your options are PlayStation or Nintendo Switch. It'll run better and look better on PlayStation, but it's not a really graphically intense game, so it'll probably still run well on Switch, and then you get the ability to take it with you. But docked Switches on big TVs don't look that good, but it's a casual play game, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of options there, but at the end of it all, I feel like Theater Rhythm, if it looks like your style of game, it's really worth your time. And at least go check out the demo. The demo's free. It's available on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. Go see if you like it. If you do, I enjoyed it. I'm really thankful when developers and publishers put out those demos, because it does let us have that opportunity to try a game, and I'm really happy that I tried out this one. But let me know what your thoughts are. If this is your first time really taking a look at Theater Rhythm, let me know how you feel about it. If you played the demo or if you played the previous games, how are you feeling about the actual release of this one? Let me know. Put your thoughts down in the comments below. If you want to keep up the conversation elsewhere, two great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. Speaking of Discord, we have several channels where we can talk about different topics, including this one. And who knows, maybe we'll talk about it live on stream, because we do stream on Twitch, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. And if you watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy. Welcome in, Raiders. Sorry, I was rambling. The Raven, hello. Welcome in, little one. Welcome in, Minimal. Welcome in, the Raven. Flying out of the Raven's nest to bring you a raid. Bringing all of the love and support to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You know, I apologize. I have heard your name pronounced so many times. and I cannot remember how it's pronounced. And I'm afraid to butcher it. So thank you for being here. Hello, Hope. Oh, he recording. You were playing some Stream Raiders, Raven? Were you doing anything else along the side? You better give me my card back. What card do you want back, Real? Got a recommendation from a little one I had to support. Thank you, little one. I appreciate that. Now you can use the YouTube emote. That's true. Welcome in, Minimal. Minimal, how was the movie night in Discord? Stuttered. Raid message. Nailed it. Got it. Look at this cute burb. Oh my god, that's a really cute burb. I love it. A little scared Raven. Doing some Power Wash Simulator. That game is almost too chill for me. Don't get me wrong, I like it. I still liked it, but it was almost too chill for me. I was referring to something you said about the game. I forgot. That's all good. It's all good. No nail color today. I've been doing lots of work around the house, inside and outside. And so I haven't had nails for like a little over a month because I did a bunch of construction in the garage, and then I was cleaning, and then I've had to clean up so much snow, y'all. I just tell Alaska to quit fucking snowing. I know it snows here. I know that that's like one of the things I signed up for with this goddamn state, but it has snowed more and more and more and more, and I would like for it to please stop. Because, you know, normally we'll get like 3 feet or 4 feet across the entire winter, and we've gotten like 8 feet, and it's not even, winter's not over yet, and I just want to cry. Like, you'll freaking go out and shovel and scrape and snow blow and shovel, and you're like, I finally got it all moved, and then it'll dump another 6 inches to a foot that same night, and you just want to yeet yourself through a window. I'm over it this winter. I'm real over it. There's nowhere to put the snow anymore. At one point, the snow was taller than me, and I was like, this isn't it, dog. This isn't it. I don't want it. It really was. It caused the time to fly by way too quickly. Yeah, you just kind of zone out while playing Power Washing Simulator, and you're like, oh, man. Oh, well. Not spawn. Not spawn. Maddie, are you still here? If not, that's fine. That sounds awesome, says someone who doesn't live near snow. Maddie, I have something new for you to ban in your chat. Here you go, little one. I don't know if you saw me and Maddie's Twitter exchange, but this had to happen. I had put out a YouTube video today, and it had a thumbnail in it, and another friend of the channel, Napalm Trees, saw it and decided that they needed to edit it. Well, grab the face out of it. Where is it? Oh, hello? Are we good? OBS? I'm frozen. There we go. But Minimal, look, it's such a good response. Are you calling my face a nightmare? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah, this was the actual, not that. This Please tell me that close. This is what that's actually from. It's from this thumbnail. But fucking Napalm Trees zoomed in and grabbed my face out of there for that. I do have to raid and run, unfortunately. I have to adult tomorrow. It was lovely meeting you and excited to catch more streams. Thank you so much for the raid, Raven. Thank you so much for trusting Little One and bringing your community over here. I appreciate you a lot. I didn't do my normal, like, raid intro spiel, so real quick, my name's Schwan. I stream 4 days a week. I love to talk. I like to talk, and I love to talk some more if you want to talk with me. Thank you for coming over and checking out the stream. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for supporting Raven. I'm sure you had a good time over there. And Raven, thank you for supporting me. And Raven, even though you already said you need to, I will also tell you that you or anyone that came with you, if you need to raid and run for whatever reason, whether you want to go get food, you need to go to bed, whatever, I totally understand. No hard feelings at all. I get it. Absolutely scurry away as much as you need to. But thank you so much for coming over. It's fine, Maddie. You'll have to suffer maybe one stream, and then you'll just get sick of it and ban the whole emote from your chat. Because Minimal's like, fuck that, I'm banning it already. El Canadiano and Fender. All right. This is probably going to be last. We're going to record the Crisis Core review. And then we are going to raid out of here, especially because I got food here, but I don't want to eat it right now. I'll eat it as soon as we're done with stream, but we'll be done with stream after I record this video. All right, so we're going to go back to this, and we're going to get this script open. Totally understandable, El Canadiano. Thank you for dropping one more unit, and I hope that you have a good night. I hope that you sleep well, and the rest of the night goes well for you, and I hope you have a good day tomorrow until I see you again. Which, as a heads up to everybody, I won't be here on Thursday. I got some family stuff going on, but I should be here on Friday for Power Couple playing Persona 5 with the incredible Athena Latina. All right, let's tell this music to calm down. Take a nice big drink of water. And we'll do this this review for Crisis Core. All right. This is green, by the way, because I got to chroma it out and put gameplay in here. That's why that's green like that. Let's change chats. There we go. All right. Here we go. Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwan, and this is your one-take review of Crisis Core Reunion Final Fantasy VII. Now, as a disclaimer, the biggest disclaimer that I can offer is that when it comes to Final Fantasy, I am a tool, okay? I am a absolute tool when it comes to this franchise. If it has the words Final Fantasy on it, I've probably already bought it, and it's not always a good product, but I can't help myself, okay? I'm sorry. That's just who I am, and I really have just a soft spot for Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy VII, of course, is my favorite game, probably of all time. It's been a part of my life basically forever. I have this nice, lovely story of how I got introduced to Final Fantasy VII, which I'm not going to share with you here. And even Crisis Core itself is special to me. My very first paycheck that I got from a job that I paid taxes out of, to where I actually got a pay stub and had to take it to the bank and stuff. My very first paycheck, I took that paycheck and I spent the entire paycheck on a PlayStation Portable. And then I could do nothing with it until my second paycheck, when I was actually able to pick up a copy of Crisis Core. And so Crisis Core also is something that's near and dear to me. So just letting you know, my bias exists. I played an absurd amount of it, to the point that I was like trying to like lay my PSP down on the desk on the other side of my textbook so that I could play it in class without getting noticed. It did not work, but I tried. But I haven't really replayed it much since then. I played it a lot at that point in time. I never really like replayed it ever. I did still have lots of nostalgia going into Crisis Core. I remembered playing it and I was like, oh man, they've done so much with it. I'm so ready. Now, I will say I'm going to do my best to avoid significant spoilers for both Crisis Core as well as Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VII Remake as we go into this. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, the premise / story of Crisis Core is that it is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII. As you go through Final Fantasy VII, you're going to see several flashbacks of events that happened before that game is taking place, and Crisis Core covers most of those flashbacks and more. It expands on the world of Final Fantasy VII, it expands on the stories in those flashbacks. Primarily, we are following along Zack Fair, who starts the game out as a soldier second class and becomes a soldier first class along the way. He's one of the best known backstory characters. He's a very important character to the backstory of Cloud himself, as well as Aerith, if you're familiar with those characters from the core Final Fantasy VII. But it expands even more than that. It expands on known characters. The main villain of Final Fantasy VII is Sephiroth, and we get to see kind of the rise and fall of him descending into madness in Crisis Core. We get to see the backstories of Cloud and Tifa and Aerith and Yuffie and see a little bit more of where they were at before the actual game started. There's small hints and mentions of other characters, but they don't get nearly the amount of expanded backstory that the named characters that I just rattled off do. Now, there's also some new characters that are introduced in Crisis Core. Angeal, who kind of focuses like Zack's mentor and is the heart of soldier. That said, I will say that Angeal, he of all of the new characters, largely he feels the most offset. Like, he's there to be the mentor role for Zack and not much else. Everyone else, whether they are a already existing character that's getting a backstory or newly introduced characters, he's the one that feels, feels the weakest, even though I don't feel like he should be. Next up is Genesis, the main villain of Crisis Core. You've probably seen something along of his at some point. He's got the big red jacket on. He's got the hair. He's modeled after Gact, who's a freaking J-pop star, and he's always preaching about Loveless, the play that is shown off multiple times through the entirety of Final Fantasy VII. By shown off, I mean we get to hear it and see a poster for it, but we never actually get the entirety of Loveless anything at all. That said, I will say, I remember, like most people, really disliking Genesis when I played Crisis Core. And when we went through Crisis Core Reunion, I'll say that he's a lot better than I remember. And maybe it's because just I'm so much different of a person than I was, oh God, so many years ago, 15 years ago, when Crisis Core originally released, right? And so my tastes and everything have probably changed a lot since then. And so Genesis was much more tangible of a person than he was 15 years ago. And then the next one is Cisne. She is a Turk and kind of is like meant to be almost like an extra love interest for Zack, where you can tell that maybe she has something of a feeling for him, but Zack's such a lovable idiot that he doesn't realize that like anyone has feelings for him ever. And Cisne was the character that I was most excited to see in Reunion because I remember really liking Cisne a lot. And after getting through Reunion, she has a much smaller role than I remember. I remember being really excited to see her in Reunion, and then I got through the game, and you don't see her nearly as much as I feel like she exists in my memory. But Cisne is the character that I'm still very much hoping that we get to see more of as the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy continues, because she was obviously created after the original game, so she doesn't exist in the original game, but she could exist now in the Remake trilogy, but we'll have to wait and see. There's a few added additional smaller side characters, Dr. Hollander, Director Lazard, a soldier named Kunsel. I'm not going to talk much about them, but there are new players that exist within this game. And the game ultimately talks about the collapse of Soldier and sets up the entire premise of what happens for the rest of the Final Fantasy VII compilation. Really, a whole bunch of parts of the rest of the entirety of all the games, of all of the series, whether it's Advent Children, the movie, Dirge of Cerberus, so much of that is rooted in the events that take place in Crisis Core. And so it's neat to see kind of where it all came from, even though this isn't actually where Final Fantasy VII started. Now, the game is available on, I think, basically all platforms. It's available on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and Steam, which also means it's on the Steam Deck. So basically everything besides your mobile phone. We did play the game on Steam. I played it on computer. We streamed the entire thing. I have a Ryzen 9 5900X, 32 gigabytes of RAM at the time of playing, and an NVIDIA RTX 3070 Ti. So I'm not working with lower end equipment, but it's what I played it on, so it's what we're going to talk about. I played it at 1440p at a 60 FPS, and at least with my system, it was just locked at that. There was no issues. The game ran great. Now, I will say, even though with high-end hardware where you can really brute force some things, if a game isn't programmed well, even you still can't brute force it all the time. You'll see frame drops. You'll see just like it trying to struggle to even brute force it because the game just isn't optimized well. I didn't have that issue here. The game looked great and it played great. Now, as we already talked about, this is kind of like a remaster, but it's a little bit more than that. This game originally released on the PlayStation Portable back in 2007/2008, depending on where you were in the world. And while it is technically a remaster, they use the base framework, the level design, the skeletons for the animations and everything. They also put a lot more into it. It's got new backgrounds and recreated textures, completely new voice acting. They overhauled elements of the game, whether it's the menus, the UI, the way the gameplay actually functions, implementing things that they learned from Final Fantasy VII Remake or mechanics they have from Final Fantasy VII Remake, like the Punisher mode, which I don't remember existing as a mechanic in the original release. Now, mind you, it's been humming a number of years. But they've built on this remaster. They didn't just shove the entire game into an upscaler, put the textures up to an upscaled 4K, remastered the audio by just shoving it through a filter and compiling it and hoping that it'll work and shoving it out the door. There was work that went into this remaster to where it's like more than a remaster, but it's not a full remake because they did use so many existing assets. I don't know what to call it. It's still the same structure of a game, but and you can definitely tell that when you're playing it because it's a 2008 PlayStation Portable game, and you can feel that kind of when you're getting into it. But there's so much that they did to modernize this game that we just don't see with most remasters, where it's just exactly the same game. It just hopefully looks a bit better and hopefully runs a bit better, but even that isn't guaranteed. But the game does play better. This game is an action hack and slash RPG. You got a spammable basic attack, some abilities that are acquired through the trademark, a MacGuffin of Final Fantasy, which is materia. And you also have an RNG mechanic of the digital mind wave. Anytime you see combat of this game, you'll see in the far corner a roulette wheel that's spinning. That's the digital mind wave. It's meant to represent Zack's feelings and emotions and memories as he's fighting in battle, and that's kind of what pushes him forward. He thinks of his friends, the people that inspire him, his fellow soldier and stuff like that, and that pushes him to fight farther. It's how he gets his limit breaks. It's how you summons and stuff. And so you have these mechanics. And Crisis Core in the past is plagued with pauses, is the way that I guess is the best way to describe it. Combat can be really non-responsive in the original Crisis Core, to the point that abilities would trump almost everything else because certain abilities would have a stronger chance of stuttering your opponent, and those abilities were what you wanted because you just did not have the ability to respond in any meaningful way, in a timely way back then. The best one, I forget what it was called. It was just fucking Cloud. It was just Zack stomping, right? But that stomp would almost stutter any enemy. And so that ability, that was the best ability in the game because it would stagger almost any enemy, make them stutter, interrupt their attack. You could beat the whole game once you got the materia. You could beat the final boss. You could beat the super boss. Just stomp your bitch, right? You can't do anything. And unfortunately, that felt a lot like the right way to play because you didn't have a more seamless, flowing, integrated combat. And the digital mind wave, whenever it would trigger, would pause combat as a whole. Everything would stop, the mind wave would take over the screen and show you what your results were, and it felt awful. Now, the remaster fixes all of that and even builds upon and improves it. Combat flows really, really well. There's no slowdown. It doesn't pause for the digital mind wave anymore. By comparison, it feels fantastic. But we're not going to be strictly talking about how this game compares to its original release. We need to take a look at how this game is on a standalone, how it stands on its own. And the combat feels good and it looks good, but this combat really lacks a lot of depth, okay? I will say we played on normal, and you can just spam attacks a lot. And really, if you know what an enemy's weakness is or know a way to stagger them, that still is just the ipso facto way to just take out any enemy. Few enemies feel like a balanced challenge. Either they're an easy win or a hopeless defeat. You are either just going to trounce over these enemies like they don't exist, or you're going to feel like they're an insurmountable wall, and there is so little that exists in the space between those two settings in combat. There also isn't a whole lot of engagement that you would see with games that look like this. This game looks like it's trying to be a character action game or a spectacle fighter. Think of games like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Nier Automata, but it doesn't function like those games. You don't have things like perfect dodges. You do have a block and a dodge, but they are slow. It's not trying to be this fast, hacky, slashy style game, but it's also not slow like a true turn-based game. It exists in this weird space between the two to where, like, you feel a little bit more, like, energized, like you're doing more, like you're engaging with the game on a faster pace than a turn-based game does, but it's not exciting in the way that a spectacle fighter is, to the point that it just exists and it doesn't do anything that's truly outstanding or memorable. It looks good and it feels all right, but it just doesn't leave any imprint on the player as you're getting through it. It's serviceable, but that's about as far as it can go. Not bad, not good. And one of the things that is really important in this, though, is the actual content of the game. This game's story, the actual story, is maybe 4 hours. And I mean maybe, okay? And it does expand on the flashbacks from Final Fantasy VII, but honestly, it does that very, very little. For the most part, you're not going to be learning a whole lot of new information by playing Crisis Core. But what it does have are these side missions. You go to a save point or to the mission tab, and there's these side missions that you can load into, and some of them have story in them. Like, you can see a lot of Yuffie's story in there and how Yuffie develops as a character, but it's minimal. It is so small. There's some side stories that are completely meaningless, but there's 300 of these, okay? The game, if you wanted to complete it, takes like 60 hours. And 55 of those hours are doing these side missions, okay? And most of it is just running through hallways, fighting throwaway enemies. It's a long slog if you want to do this. And there's honestly very little excitement or variety that exists within these side missions. And the problem is that the lack of depth in combat means that the excessive mission bloat really overshadows the core playthrough if you spend too much time with them at the wrong times. So if you spend too much time doing the missions before you've beaten the game, then one, it's going to make the story really dragged out and disconnected, and it's going to level you and get you power-ups in a way that the story is just not challenging at all. And so it's best to like do some of them because there's definitely some things that you want out of them, like accessory slots and shops and stuff that are unlocked through these missions. But really, it's better if you hold the majority of them for post-game. But if you try to play them all post-game, it's going to wear you the fuck out because they're so samey and so repetitive that it really will start to showcase just how little depth exists in the combat. And that's a struggle. It's a painful struggle to the point that I didn't get through them all. I will say I got through all of them back in 2008 or 9 or whatever, but I was not willing to do it again at this point in time because it was just too much. It was too much. Now, one thing I'll also talk about is we need to talk about several different pieces of the audio soundscape, okay? Square Enix on a historical level, they are, with limited exception, master of two things: visuals and audio, okay? Square Enix Squaresoft and then Square Enix was known for the longest time of trying to push whatever platform they were on to its absolute limits, make the most beautiful game possible on the hardware that they had available. And they're also masters of audio, okay? Especially when it comes to their music. But it even goes beyond their music. This game, when you're playing it, it sounds really good. Zach's abilities, they got this nice, real chunky effect to it. Like, you can really feel the crackle of the lightning as he's, like, you know, doing these, like, spinning lightning attacks and stuff. It really adds a lot of dynamic effect to this combat that otherwise doesn't have its own depth in it, all right? And then, of course, Final Fantasy as a whole normally has really, really brilliant music. The original Final Fantasy VII soundtrack was by Nobuo Uematsu, and this soundtrack feels like an evolution of the original soundtrack from Final Fantasy VII, of we're going to take all these tracks and we're going to just see what else we could do with them, if there's ways to build upon them. And it feels good. It feels different from the original tracks while still having that like nostalgia wave that hits you when you hear it. And it's interesting though, because it also can just feel like the same music. The other thing that we need to touch on, though, is the voice acting, okay? Because that was one of the pieces of controversy leading up to this game's release, is that they redid a whole lot of the voice work, including most of the characters getting completely new voice actors. And one of the ones that they talk about the most is the main character, Zack Fair. Because Zack Fair in the original release had a pretty damn good voice actor. The new voice actor, a lot of people don't like. But I will say that when it comes to voice work in a video game, so much of that is about direction. These games are 15 years apart, and I don't know right offhand if they have the same vocal directors, right? And directors can have different visions and want different things from different people. And so the time gap between these, they might have had completely different directions given to them. You can have a good voice actor, but give them bad voice directing, and you will get a bad performance. Now, it'll be better than a bad voice actor with bad direction, but stay with me here. If you have a bad voice actor with good direction, you can get a pretty decent performance if you have a good director that is willing to get the performance that they want out of that less talented voice actor. And I think that's kind of what's happening here. So Zack, as a character, always kind of felt like a big puppy to me. He's this big, lovable guy with a heart of gold, and he's just this character of innocence that just doesn't like to accept that there are wrongs in the world that he can't fix, and there's people that he can't help. And I definitely feel like the new voice actor captures that energy better. Do I think the old voice actor was a stronger raw talent? I do. I think that they were a stronger raw talent. But they were scruffier and more aggressive, to where Zack sounded angry more often. He had kind of a rough tone on that scratchy throat, right? And the new guy, he's more jovial. He's upbeat, which is how I have always perceived Zack, of this really happy-go-lucky, almost like carefree person that just wants to do the right thing and be the right person to help people where he can. And I think ultimately at the end of it, it'll be completely about preference. A lot of people get really heavily into their nostalgia, and if something isn't the way that they remember it, they push it away like a kid that's being told that they need to eat broccoli. And I wasn't in that position, right? I was really happy to see a new performance, and it helps that I liked the performance. And ultimately, at the end of it, I like both, but for different reasons. But I think, again, that the new one captures Zack a lot better as a character. Now, as we close this out, I will say that Crisis Core, really, what it's going to be for me, Crisis Core Reunion, this game is going to define a new level of a remaster, wholly. But the problem is that very select titles can do this. You can't do what Square Enix did with Crisis Core Reunion with every game that exists. This just happened to be positioned in like the correct space in the universe for them to be able to use so much of their old content and recreate and rebuild it into what we get today. You can't do that with every title, depending on what it was built for, what console it released on and stuff. And so this is just a really golden scenario where this was able to happen. Would I like to see people do these more than a remaster, but not quite a remake with more titles? Absolutely I would. But I don't believe that it is possible for the vast majority of games that exist out there. And really, this will likely exist forever as the definitive edition of Crisis Core. It'll be the best way to play it. It's been really needed because the original game is still a PSP exclusive. There's not a platform that you can play it on. you would need outside of emulators, but so you would need a PSP and you need to find a copy of it, and that's continuing to get harder and or more expensive. It'll make for a really good entry point for both the original Final Fantasy VII as well as people that want to go from this into Final Fantasy VII Remake. Overall, Crisis Core Reunion is a good experience, but I will say it is flatter and shallower than I remember. And that could just be those rose-colored glasses of being young and having less games to play and less games under your belt as a gamer and experiences that you've gone through. But I'll say, as a product, strictly as a product, as an example of this new tier of remaster, of more than a remaster and lower than a remake, it's like a fucking 10 out of 10. The work that they did with this game, fucking incredible, okay? But as a game, your experience with it, I think, is going to be wholly dictated on the mission structure and how you approach it and how many of those you do and win. It's a really good, solid single playthrough, and if you do just kind of take a measured approach to those missions to be able to progress through the story, the combat holds up really well before that shallowness starts to show when you just start to grind through the missions. The missions, I think, are a little bit too much of the overall package. This game, in terms of overall gameplay and content, has very, very little outside of grinding through 300 missions that are all just side content filler. That said, this game looks great. It doesn't have really any performance issues. I love the sound in it. It plays well. And I think that this is a game that is priced appropriately. It's $50 brand new, and you can get it on sale. I think it's worth the price and the time. If you want a number, I would give this game a really solid 8 out of 10. I think that it really could change that score depending, though, on how you, again, experience the game. So, because if you do too many missions at the wrong time, that you could drop this game down to like a 6. But I knew that going into it, so I was like, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to get through these missions to unlock this summon and this shop and these accessory slots, and then we're just going to keep going with the story. Okay, now we need to go here. And so I made this game a better experience for myself because I had the knowledge of when to make it a better experience, but you could easily harm that experience for yourself, and I can't really give you any good guidance on how to do that. You just kind of need to fill it out. Maybe someone made a guide for it. So those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Have you played the original Crisis Core? Have you played Crisis Core Reunion yet? Are you here just trying to see if it's worth your time? If you have played Reunion but not the original, how did you find it? And you've played both, how do you feel about it? Are you upset with the new voice acting, or are you fine with it along the same way I am? I'd love to hear from you. Please leave your thoughts down in the comments below. We got 2 upcoming reviews. We're going to be reviewing Resident Evil 2 Remake as well as Forspoken, another game from Square Enix that's going to be an interesting one to talk about because it has its own controversies in it. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to catch those. If you like this video, please leave it a like, and just keep in mind that we do stream on Twitch. We stream there 4 days a week. I would love to see you there. And if you watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy. Woo! Woo! We did it. It was a bit. There was a lot there, but we did it. And Jill's got a big-ass forehead. Oh my god, stop it. What are we stopping? 1,000. It's been 84 years since the PSP released. Is the Tapata way? Zach was so miscast. The original one or the new one? Words in esta economia? I can afford words, I hope. But the squats, legendary. Yeah, no kidding, right? Man, I'm so stressed. Better start doing squats. Crisis Core at 17, 10 out of 10. Crisis Core when I replayed it at 23 or 24, 6 out of 10. I think if I played the original Crisis Core, like, in the last 5 years, oh yeah, I'd be like, man, this game kind of fucking sucks. Was it ever good? Reunion fixes so many of the problems that the original Crisis Core has, but it can't fix all of them. It can't fix all of them. All right, while we wait this last little bit, let me see where we're going. Where are we gonna raid out to, y'all? Who's online? Oh, I got this food sitting in front of me. It smells so good. Want to eat it. Oh, I know where we're going. Let me get the custom raid message built. We are going to go raid Andiari, and we are going to wish them a congratulations on getting partner. They got Twitch partner, and they received the email for receiving their Twitch partner on their birthday, which is freaking awesome. And I believe their birthday is today. It is. So let me customize this raid message. Okay. Oh, man. There we go. Greetings and salutations. Happy birthday and congratulations on partner. I need to fix some of that, though, because I got things capitalized where they shouldn't be and things that aren't capitalized when they should be. There we go. That looks better. All right, let's run this battle. And then we'll go give our congratulations to Andiari. Go fast. All right, everybody, these are my socials. Please go follow me on Twitter. Go join the Discord. Check out the YouTube channel. We have a new video going up on YouTube every single day. 2 of the videos that we just got done recording will actually go up this weekend. So maybe if you missed them or if you want to see them when I actually do all the post-production editing on them, that's where you're going to be able to do so, because I got to add the gameplay and logos and stuff in. So that's where you're able to do that if you are interested in doing so. I'm normally live on Thursday. I will not be this week. I got family stuff going on. So instead, I should be live on Friday. For Power Couple alongside Athena Latina, where we're going to be continuing on with Persona 5 Royal. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I hope that I will see you there. We are going to go raid 1 Andiari. As I said, they just got their partner. They just got partner today. And it also is their birthday, so we're going to go congratulate them on that. So raid. We'll also see how many people actually get to go along with the raid, because that's always a fun question right now. Because sometimes it's only half the people, sometimes it's more, you know, who knows? It's an adventure. Stop it. Thank you. All right. And with that said, we're going to go here. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out, chatting it up. I appreciate you a lot. I will see you next time, and I hope that you stay safe, stay warm, and have a good night. Thank you so much to Raven for the raid. Thank you to Gorthan for the resub. Thank you for Little One gifting that the subscription to the Raven. And thank you to everyone for hanging out and chatting it up. I appreciate it immensely, and I will see you next time.